You probably haven't even heard of this pedal before. I've actually owned this pedal for quite a few years, and I was actually pretty surprised to find out it was even collectible. Even though my job is a guitar tech and I deal with effects pedals and vintage gear all the time, it was not a pedal I'd even thought would be collectible at all. I just always loved how it sounds. Now, the pedal we are talking about today is a gun tone bender. Now, the gun tone bender has quite a unique origin story, and Josh Scott from JHS Pedals, who is a massive vintage and rare pedal collector, has been scouring the globe for this one for quite a few years. So it didn't take him long to hit me up with an email when he found out that I had it up for sale. We'll get into all the details about that later on in the video, but for now, I'll just show you a short clip so you can see what it sounds like. Okay, we're going to talk about this pedal really quick, but first I need to do something that most of us New Zealanders absolutely hate doing, which is self-promotion. So YouTube sent us through a whole bunch of stats, and it shows that most people that watch these videos aren't subscribed. And subscribing, it's free to do, but it obviously helps get these videos out to more people. Everyone that subscribes, it extends the reach of these videos. So that would be great if you could do that. You don't even have to hit that annoying bell icon. Just subscribing is a massive thing you can do to help. And secondly, I recently started a Fourth Wall page. So Fourth Wall is kind of like a modern version of Patreon, where there's a whole bunch of tiers. There's a free tier there as well. And I've got loads of videos I've been uploading over there, stuff I do in the workshop, my favorite tools, and just extra content from YouTube. So today there's a inside look. I pull this guy apart, well, I open it up and we have a look through the circuit. Right, so this pedal, the gun tone bender, was made by Gun Industries in the 1970s. And I actually made a video on this a while ago. I will link it through at the end of this video so you can check out all the sound samples, and I had a whole bunch of other stuff there. During my research, I was able to talk with Gray Bartlett, one of the co-owners of Gun Industries, and what I found out is that these tone benders, when they were originally made, they didn't make many of them. There's a lot of speculation about how many they made. But there was a circuit board error, and this one had the exact error that all those other ones had. So there's a diode in there that they used a silicon one instead of a germanium one. They also had it oriented around the wrong way. So the fuzz always sounded really splatty and gated, which this one did when I first got it. And I actually removed that diode and put the correct germanium one in just to get it working right. Now, it's worth pointing out, and even though it's probably quite obvious, with vintage and rare pedals like this one, it's not so much about how they sound, but it's often about the story behind them, the people that may have used them, and how rare they are, maybe, that give them their value. While I do absolutely love the sound of this pedal, I know that I could design something for $30 or $40 that I'd probably like even more, and it would be more versatile, as I'm sure a lot of you guys out there could as well. There's a lot of really smart people that subscribe to this channel. I do read those comments. I'm definitely not knocking vintage pedals. I love playing through vintage gear. I get to do it, luckily, because of my job, regularly. So there is a bit of an excitement or a buzz playing through stuff that is maybe 50 or 60 or more years old. When you design things yourself, you can really tune it to exactly what you're after. You know, you can tweak things exactly to what you need. And I suppose nowadays we are standing on the shoulders of giants, like all these guys that came before us that designed this stuff just from nothing, where we can take their designs and we can clone them or shift them or reuse them however we like. Like pretty much everything nowadays, if you look at the circuit design, you can always see its lineage. So how Josh Scott got involved? Well, after all the lockdowns, we were insanely busy. Like the workshop was packed with gear. We had loads of customers coming in wanting the gear repaired. So we're like, man, we need to build a bigger workshop. So we started going down that path of building this bigger workshop. And anyway, we needed to raise some funds. So I thought, oh, I'll sell some of my vintage pedals off. And I knew I could get a little bit of money for this gun tone bender, but I didn't realize exactly how collectible it was at the time. So the next step was to put my feelers out just to see who was interested, and I had quite a lot of interest. Even a few museums actually were interested in it because it has got that whole Kiwi connection thing. So a couple of New Zealand museums were keen. And then Josh Scott fires me through an email with an offer on the pedal, and he offered me 2,000 US, which I was pretty blown away with at the time. But we also had a couple of other offers coming through, and I just wanted to wait and see what these museums would offer. In the end, we didn't really need the funds anymore, but I was still pretty keen. But you know what? It was my wife actually that said, don't sell the pedal. You're never going to get another one the same. You'll regret it. You might not even see another one again. So, I mean, and my wife's actually a musician herself under Kiss Bassman. You should check her out. I'll link her music down in the description. She's got some really cool songs on Spotify, so check them out. But I was like, oh, you know, maybe I'll chuck him a cheeky offer, a counter offer. I'll give him a cheeky counter offer and just see what he does. So I put this sort of crazy offer to him just to see if he'd bump it up a little bit, because I probably would have said yes. But he sort of really politely emailed back just saying, oh no, good luck with the sale. I hope it goes well, that sort of thing. And I suppose for me that was like, well, I should keep it. That's a sign I should keep this pedal, which I'm really glad I did. So what I'll do is I'll make sure I link that video in at the end of this one so you can sort of see the original video I did with a whole bunch of sound samples about how the pedal sounds. And I hope you enjoyed this little story. I know it's not a project like normal or a mod or something like that, but I thought it'd be sort of a cool story to share. And have a great week, guys, and we'll catch you in the next video.